have round tripped. The dollar is now basically flat on the week. What message does that deliver as to the kind of tolerance for risk going forward from here, from the wider market?
Yeah, hi, Guy. I think from Asia's perspective, the movement in the dollar is absolutely crucial because as it's come back down again, that's meant that there's been upward appreciation pressure on everything from the yen to the Taiwan dollar, the Korean won as well. And they've been moving in fits and bursts and quite jumpy as well. This sort of feeling among investors here that even if they're not saying explicitly that they want to do it, the US administration is still pushing for the dollar to be weaker in a sort of global in the round kind of a basis, and that they will be pushed to allow their currencies to strengthen. And people are trying to get ahead of that, right? And so you see corporations repatriating their money, people putting on extra hedges, a little bit of kind of like concern, and we've seen some big blow-ups in volatility as a result of that. Weaker dollar should be helpful for US markets. We've definitely, as you said, continued to see gains for stocks, although that slowed down. It's going to take quite a lot for us to get good news on the trade front from here, given how surprisingly good the China news already was. I think the other thing you've got to be very careful of and watch out for is the Treasuries market. Yes, we had a pretty big rally yesterday. Some of the cooling inflation data and some slowing economic data gave people a little bit more hope that the Fed will cut. But the Fed's been quite clear, doesn't really think that it's going to be cutting anytime particularly soon. So watch those yields pushing up again. That's something that could become more harmful across the broader economy if it keeps on going.
Well, speaking of those yields moving higher, certainly seeing plenty of that in the back end of the Japanese curve as well. 145 this morning on dollar yen. Paul, talk to us a little bit about simply this idea of currency negotiations being part of any sort of conversation between the Japanese authorities and Scott Bessent.
Yeah, Kriti. So we had reporting midweek saying the US is not pushing for currencies to be included as part of those trade conversations. Behind closed doors, it's not being brought up. And yet, there are meetings going on the sidelines. We've heard about Japan, we've heard about Korea, having those meetings, talking with US officials where currencies have come up. And as a result, Asia is reading into this, whatever it will, is reading that the US wants to push for a weaker dollar, or it wants to push for fair value on Asian currencies. And since a lot of them are undervalued, that puts that upward pressure onto them.
Interesting as well, Paul. Yes, you've got the dollar weak again today, but that the euro isn't such a beneficiary on the flip side of that. Why do you see it continuing?
Yeah, no, well, I think that the euro probably can continue to go higher, depending on how the economy looks. Trump has obviously said that he's not pushing for Europe to get a trade deal anytime particularly soon, and the ECB is still cutting, but you can see that the euro has at least got a bottom in and can continue to appreciate slowly over time.